This is Television Nigerian, a broadcast network committed to serving you the very best in online and offline television programming. Situated in the serene environment of Guzape, Abuja FCT, TVN, as it is fondly called, caters to a wide variety of audience via carefully orchestrated mind-blowing programs in the areas of fashion, business, politics, entertainment, religion, movies, food and health, culture and lifestyle, events around the globe, sports and foreign news. Whatever your inclination, we've got you completely covered with programs like Issues of the Moment, The Patriot, Daybreak Nigeria, Matter Africa, TVN Business Time, Healthy Living, From the Cradle, Stay Inspired, Entertainment Gist, Movie Hour, Hits Paradise, among others. All designed to keep you thoroughly informed, entertained, at the edge of your seats and yearning for more. A tour around our domain will reveal a highly dedicated staff force and a state-of-the-art facility and equipment for high-definition quality broadcast, making our station your number one choice in advertising your business and propagating your ideas. We are currently on NigComSat doing our test transmission for takeoff in the nearest future. Television Nigerian is located in Nigeria at Television Nigerian House, Guzape Hilltop Mansion, beside Guzape White House, Guzape Abuja FCT, and in the United Kingdom at 45 Ancient House, 48 Aerodrome Road, Beaufort Park, Colindale, London. For inquiries,
It's Monday, the 18th of January, in Nigeria and in all over the world, and you are right now hooked up to Television Nigeria and reaching you live from our Hilltop Studios in Guzape, Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. This is Press Talk, the program where we look at issues being raised in the press, printed in all tabloids across Nigeria, and also looking beyond what is happening beyond Nigeria in other climes. Welcome on board. I am Charles Ibe. And I'm not alone this morning as I have Peggy Shandy in the studio. Peggy, welcome.
Thank you very much, sir.
So how was your weekend?
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And you look set to take on the whole week.
Yes, sure. So,
promises to be very, 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 very exciting week ahead.
Exactly, yeah.
And a look at the front pages of the newspaper showed that the most dominating story today is all about the school resumption. Of course, what makes it more peculiar is because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Everybody's worried, parents are worried about their children staying so long at home, and then government saying come back to school. And doctors are saying it might not be a very wise decision, and then teachers in some areas are saying no. And some private schools are saying we are ready, you understand? And then some states actually are not reopening their schools today because government has given the 18th February as a date for schools to resume. But we find out that some states have shifted theirs to 23, 23rd. Some are going to resume in February and all of that. Well, just how do you see that situation going on?
The situation of COVID has thrown every Nigerian into confusion. The confusion is not very healing at all. It's very obvious. Resume on the 18th. Some schools say they can't, some say they will. And parents are also worried, just like the teachers are worried. I don't know if they're paying them while they were on break. If it were private schools, I'm sorry for them, I'm telling you. And then you see that the hospitals are also overwhelmed. You know, the last week there was an overwhelming situation where they say the hospitals can no longer contain rising cases and stuff. And that's where you see that when you're not prepared for something and it hits you back, you will see all this kind of confusion. That is what
Exactly.
is exactly. There's more confusion to come if care is not taken. If
Yeah.
the hospitals to where these remedies could be taken care of, then who is going to risk his child? I don't know where this COVID-19 is. It in the air? It has come, or it is through the human beings? I don't know.
Yeah, we have a resurgence of COVID-19.
Is it the same strand or is it a different type of
Well,
one?
they said there's a variant. I don't know if the variant has entered Nigeria, but in America, in UK, and all of that, they are talking about a variant from Brazil. They've noticed in Brazil, there's a variant in South Africa. So we are not sure actually what we are scared of here right now, if it is the good old COVID that we knew in 2020, or this is the new strand of COVID-19. But what we all do know is that every day NCDC gives out figures, and we've crossed about over 108,000 cases and about 1,400 deaths and all of that, and more, and still counting.
Still counting.
Yes, and over 80-something thousand have recovered from the COVID-19, but it is still out there, and that is what government is stressing, that COVID-19 is still very, very much with us, and I mean, life still have to go on. Schools have to resume and all of that. But amidst that, the worry particularly is how prepared the government, the institutions are in the mix, in recalling students back to school. What are those things in place? Did the government actually ensure that everything that is needed is in place in all these institutions, both private, both public? Because now it's not about the dichotomy, whether it's private or public school. It's about Nigerian lives, Nigerian youngsters getting caught up in the midst of this COVID-19.
Yes.
How do you really see those people that are expressing fears? Are their fears unfounded about preparedness? Do we have the facilities in the schools? For instance, universities, lecture halls, and all of that. They've not really told us. And you find out that even ASU are not okay with resumption. They said, no, we can't resume now. Even though they just came back from strike, they are still worried about some issues on the ground. But the government is insisting. Do you think these fears are unfounded in terms of preparedness, facilities on ground too?
Mr. Charles, thank you very much for that very brilliant question. I think I want to thank you for asking that question. You see, whether private schools or government schools or tertiary schools and what kind of schools that we have, COVID-19 has no respect for whichever type of school you come from. That is first of all. But you see, when they were stressing the resumption date, which is today, I was expecting to see the federal government, apart from providing sanitization, materials and all that, they were able to say that the health minister directed to deploy personnel that would just mount the gates, and while the students are coming, they'll be able to check the status. Because this COVID-19 is not a respecter of persons.
Definitely.
And as a matter of fact, you could even get it from your home coming back to school. It is also very possible that someone else who got it from somewhere got to school and someone else contracted it.
Exactly.
So why are they basing their analysis in preparedness to deal with this issue? Is where my problem is. And if everybody has expressed worries, the parents, the teachers, who is not at risk here, for God's sake?
Everybody is.
So the preparedness, I don't like when they just sit and say resume and nothing. If ASU, on the other hand, are also crying and saying they want to be comfortable, I think they are also dealing with the psychological part of preparedness too. Apart from that, in the pocket too, they need to have something, so they can teach very well.
Yeah, somehow I heard they're even saying that some of their lecturers are still owed as much as 10 months salaries.
That's
and all
where.
of that. And then coupled with the COVID-19.
And then allowances, there are certain allowances that they're not
yes,
paid.
then looking at the fact that when the federal government had to had to reopen the airlines, the aviation sector, we saw the minister, we saw some government visiting the airports, ensuring, it was on live television that they were showing things that are put in place, facilities to ensure that the airports are safe for people to come in and travel out of Nigeria or even within Nigeria.
But nobody did the schools.
But yeah, in the schools, in the case of the schools, we didn't see something like that. Maybe that might be one of the reasons why parents are worried. Some teachers are worried as well. But maybe going to some of these schools, you might not really see. Because I think it goes beyond hand sanitizers and
It goes beyond that.
masks
You
and
have
all of that.
hand sanitizer, facial mask, and all this washing your hands 50 times a day. It does not change the fact that you are curing the COVID.
And then,
COVID has no respect for washing hands all the time. It's just prevention yet.
yeah.
If you see the air blowing now, it's a very dangerous air. I think that thing is coming from the air.
But is it that airborne?
If you sneeze, you're sneezing into where? You're sneezing into the air.
Yeah.
And then the distance that is close, someone catches it.
Yeah, that's why they say it's social.
And social distancing. So before you meet someone else, wash your hands and all that. You can't continue to wash your hands and then be very sure that it's in the washing. You could have given to someone directly even from the sneeze on the coughing.
Yeah, that means face masks will be very, very key.
Facial masks
Masking and
is
all of that.
one of the most important part of, but Nigerians are terrible. They have very bad practices in, putting on face masks. They say their ears are paining them and all. They don't have a good practice. And the different kinds of cough, the way they sound these days, they're terrible.
Yeah.
Somebody coughs and you hear that sound, you know that this is corona. Certainly this is coronavirus.
Well, but it's also good to know that there's some measures are being put in place, at least by Nigerians who are becoming this consciousness, at least when you are coming into the office this morning, and has been there for a while, you always see no mask, no entry.
Yeah,
and I've seen it also in so many public places, so many offices, so many buildings, even private buildings, they put it on their gates, no mask, no mask, face mask, no entry. So it's a little bit of a measure.
No,
of,
it's a
preventive measures, but also let's look at the issue of the vaccines. Yeah, we're hearing about vaccines coming soon. How soon? Where the state governors have expressed a little bit of reservation. The vaccines are not here yet. They are going to be meeting, is it tomorrow or Wednesday? And also last week you heard about the state governments saying that they are going to take charge of the vaccination process. And a whole lot of people are getting worried. State governors again, is it not going to end up being made for the elites and all of that? So do you think there should be some concerns about that one as well?
Well, apart from the president of this country, the next powerful group is the Governors Forum. And so if the federal government is failing to do certain things, from the first time when the issue of palliatives was superintended by the federal government, there were lamentations everywhere around the length and breadth of the country. So if the Governors Forum decide that they're going to take responsibility to handle this one so that it shouldn't fail, that should be thinking of what the state governments are doing. But you see, in Nigeria, anything that goes to the state governors, know that it has gone to, what do you call this word now? Is it limbo? It has gone to voice me.
Why?
Yeah, the voice me because.
Why is that? Is it like no confidence?
And because you can imagine that even ordinary food that human beings will eat as palliatives, rice, state governors hijacked it. I don't know what they were using it for.
They had plans.
They had plans to go and sell it.
No, not really.
Or
they said
to do
they were
what?
going to be.
They got expired in the warehouses. Got plans to do what?
Okay, fine. You know that at that point, some of the state governors stated the fact that they were keeping these palliatives in anticipation of a second wave, and now we have the second wave. So where is the palliative going to come from? Because people have looted.
Are you telling me that they were able to tell you that the COVID-19 second wave was why they were keeping the rice in the place?
Some state governors did come out to say.
I heard one of the governors speaking that on radio, on TV. I was very, very shocked. You have not dealt with the wave that is going on now. The hungry that the wave did. You are waiting for the second wave to come before you will come and give people what? Okay, the rice have expired now.
No, but it hasn't. People took them away.
People had to break it through the NSAS. You think the NSAS protest was a joke? Try that thing now, you will see what any warehouse that, including the ones that people even kept.
Yeah, but don't remove the fact that the federal government, through the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry and all of that, did mention that palliatives are distributed. Even monies we are giving out, they reel out figures running to billions that went to Nigeria.
That's a whole huge...
And then even these palliatives as well did go around, but maybe wasn't judiciously distributed. So the governor's saying, okay, let's save some for the rainy days that will come, because they are expecting the second wave, and now we have the second wave. So
no, but that's second wave that the governors are talking.
This is what
that they were saving it. Who told them that time that it was a second wave?
It wasn't, you know, there's no harm
Who
in
told them that there was a second? Did they prepare for the first one? I don't believe. All these are lies. I'm telling you, there is no humanitarian people. You forget this thing.
All right. We are just talking about some of the issues making the rounds in the polity. And let's just step out a bit. Before we have to come to the front pages of the newspapers to bring you details of what the papers are printing. But let's go across frontiers to our African neighbors in Uganda. Over the weekend, I think from Thursday, they went to the polls to vote for their presidential elections. I think it was a tense Friday, Saturday for them and all of that. Because, I mean, at one point we saw a young man, Bobby Wine, 38 years old, former pop star, and was quite popular with the younger generations in Uganda and even across. Because I even saw some of our Nigerian celebrities rooting for him. When they started releasing the results, he was leading, and all of a sudden, the whole thing changed. And then we saw President Yoweri Museveni, 76 years old, taking the lead and all of that. And finally, the result has been announced, and behold, 76 years old Museveni is returning back as the president of the Republic of Uganda for the record 6 times.
6 times.
Yeah.
He has been serving that country for the past 30 years.
35 or
thereabout, over
35 years.
35 years, yes. While we're saying end protest, end the SARS protest here, young people must run. Uganda is part of Africa. Disgracing the name of Africa in the name of bringing in old men. Well, that's all right. It shows that there's something wrong electorally, yes. Because that Bobby Wine was leading completely. Then the whole thing turned. You know, he has been a very major rebel.
Yeah, he has
been trying to get a strong opposition.
Yeah.
You know, here. It's just like Atiku has gone to this political party to overthrow any government. He goes to this other political party to overthrow. But in the case of Atiku, and then he lost out. You know, Atiku was on ground everywhere, but you see, Buhari came to win. Everybody knows that election, whether it is conducted in the United States of America, where the best democracy is seen, you will still see rigging at different levels.
But we are not confirmed yet if they are rigging. Because although the president won, I said it's 58.6% to Bobby Wine's 13%.
You know, he served the country as a former minister of security. You know, that...
the Bobby Wine.
Museveni.
He's been around for a long time.
He has been around for a very long time.
I know that he was very, very instrumental in... he has been there for a long time. In the time of the struggle, during the Idi Amin.
During the Idi Amin,
he was there. He took over from President Milton Obote.
Milton Obote, yes.
Yeah, I think it was in 86 or thereabouts.
Yeah, 86.
And don't you think perhaps he has been doing so well that the population believes in him? That, okay, he still has some more to offer. He's not that old. 76 years is not that old.
Our president is also 76 years old. So what are we talking about? Of course, when you vote an old man into power, you're expecting that experience counts.
Yeah.
Comes to play in doing governance and stuff. When you give a young man, he may decide to take the whole governance or leadership to the bush. But the language is changing now. You know, give people who are more energetic and young and all that. Obama became president of the United States at a very young age. I think one of the youngest presidents United States has ever had. Good. So you can see now that Yahya Bello is also coming up, the youngest governor in the whole country, and then he's also vying for that position. I even saw in the papers where they say a group from the north.
Rooting for him?
No. I'm going to sue him to court if he does not vie the position of president.
Right.
Now you see the movement is moving towards young people. So he has been around for a long time, and there's also something about the old people. When they say a young man, they know that the young men are coming after them.
Really?
There's always that feeling. That's why you see the old people like eating meat, because they feel that the next day they will just sleep and not wake up. They eat meat very well so that they know that this
So
is
what does
enjoy.
meat have to do with dying and living and all of that?
That is the cultural and the African culture.
Okay.
If you want, you see, even the Bible, they have to bless somebody with. Esau and Jacob. He went and brought meat and gave before the blessings completed the whole thing. So meat is very important.
Meat is instrumental.
Yes, yes.
Okay, now finally on this Bobby Wine and Musaveri thing, the elections was marred with so many. There are so many occurrences. We saw harassment of opposition.
Yes.
We saw even the media. There was a lockdown on the social media and all of that. And then even Bobby Wine at some point complained that his family was being held hostage and all of that. So how does that describe the election? They are in democracy in Africa generally. Do you think we are getting it right?
I don't care, as a matter of fact, if the African style of apprehending people's family, abducting them, trying to make sure that they get to power, as long as the United States of America too has demonstrated the greatest disgrace, international disgrace, during the Trump. We're expecting in the next 2 days inauguration of the president of the United States, Joe Biden, and I want to see if hell is going to be let loose in the United States.
No, but if I don't think really United States can come into this, because actually what happened in the US wasn't really about the people. It was about Trump saying, I am not satisfied with this election. People did vote. He went to several courts and the court said there was nothing wrong. He couldn't even provide an evidence about wrongdoing in the election. So you cannot say the Americans couldn't get their elections right. I think they did, but the person that was in the eye of the storm refused to accept, which is why he is getting the brunt of it right now on several forums. So I think Americans did what they had to do.
Okay, the point I'm making, thank you very much for that balance. I'm not saying that Americans didn't get it right or didn't. That's not exactly what I'm trying to say. But there is a ross between Joe Biden and Trump.
Exactly.
Trump is saying something else, and Joe Biden is saying another thing. This is the first time in the history of America that it's not looking nice. Champions of democracy. Trump says, don't go out and vote in the COVID. Biden says, you could post your votes. When they were counting the mails, they discovered that the system works. I understand. But at every given point, Trump goes to court and tells the court, and the court asks him for evidence. He says he doesn't have evidence, and they trash it away. They wanted to even amend the 25th Amendment and stuff, evoke the 25th Amendment and stuff. They said hell was going to be let loose on the 20th. Nobody, there were riots. Talking about something is wrong about it.
No, but it could have been avoided. Had it been Trump himself has accepted after all these courts and all of that,
I said,
would have said, okay, fine. I mean, this is about
democracy and the people.
About democracy.
Yes.
He has gone through the legal means, constitutional avenues of expressing his dissatisfaction. And
Yes.
they always said, okay, we can't find something. At that point, he would have just said, okay, fine, thank you very much, Americans, for standing with me. Let's welcome Biden and see what. Just 4 years.
4 years.
He can even come back.
He can still come back if he wants to.
But he lost it all, right?
He lost it in terms of even the on moral grounds and everything. He talks. For whatever reasons that the cabal did not want him to be there anymore. Maybe he has played the script and overplayed it, I don't know. Don't forget. That's the link I'm saying, that if in African democracy and politics, looking at what happened in Uganda, I didn't care because, however, it's still crude. Nobody posted anything in the midst of COVID-19. Nobody posted votes. It was go and vote Tom, this local style of doing it.
Yeah.
And then the guy has been on ground for so many years with all the cash stashed in the bank account. And so if cash, cash is flowing in the night and everything, why wouldn't the numbers change when Bobby Wine was leading?
No, but it was still counting. The votes were
It is still in the counting that things can change. I'm telling you, it was still in the counting that Trump also had. He said the college votes, the electoral college, everything was just changing at that time.
Yeah, but it's the dynamics of
elections. It's very dynamics.
And also we have the Bobby Wine also is not trying to toe the line of Trump because he's alleging irregularities, but he hasn't been able to prove anything like Trump. So let's hope the whole thing doesn't.
If you don't have proof, shut up.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
And say congratulations.
Congratulations.
It's just 4 years.
4 years.
And he has something going for him. He's still a very young man.
Yes.
And in the next 4 years, Museveni is going to be like 80.
80.
Yes. So he might not really come back again.
That is, Museveni does not want to go through power like Robert Mugabe.
All right, we have been looking at some issues making rounds in Nigeria and across the frontiers. Let's go for a quick break now. When we come back, we'll now go straight to the newspapers and find out what they are printing in their front pages. Join us again. Thanks for joining us again, and if you're just joining us, this is Press Talk, and right now we are going to look at the front pages of Nigerian dailies to find out what they are printing this Monday, the 18th day of January, what's making the headlines across newspapers. And we are starting with the Daily Sun, rising strong this morning. They are talking about, on their bold headline there, COVID-19, anxiety, fears, as schools resume today. Teachers, that's the writer there, says teachers, doctors, fault decision. COVID-19, anxiety, as schools resume today. Get to page 6 of the Daily Sun newspaper to find details of that. And just directly above it, we have FG approves NIN enrollment centers for diplomats. Where are these centers? Get to page 26 of the Sun newspaper to find out where diplomats can go to register for their NIN. And below, and besides the masthead, we have the major headline there. Ohaneze, Igbo made bold statement in Obiozo's choice. Who is saying this? That is Ohakim speaking there. Okay, you can get to page 9 to find details of what he is talking about. And we have a picture story below that, a very smiling, waving Governor Yahaya Bello, surrounded by women, is blessed amongst women this morning in the front page of this Daily Sun newspaper. And I think women, he was recently awarded the most gender-sensitive governor by the Nigeria Center. Is it National Nigeria Center for Women's Society? That explains why so many women are looking beautiful and smiling beside the very, very vibrant Governor Yahaya Bello. But you need to also get to this paper to find out details actually what went down there. Below that picture story, we'll have NLC Yakasai orders reject sale of assets to fund 2021 budget. The details you can get on page 8 and also on page 3. With a rider there, Serap asks NAS, as the National Assembly, to stop Buhari. Serap asks National Assembly to stop Buhari. Below that, on the bottom strip, you have President Obiano orders hail Anyoko at 83. That's the former Commonwealth Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Emeka Anyoko, just turning 88. That's a whole lot Christmases as witnessed
I'm telling you.
in this world. All right, we've talked about the COVID-19, the anxiety, all of that. So besides that, the major headline there again we have talking about the NLC, Yakasai, and others rejecting sale of assets to fund 2021 budget. Funding the budget again is coming into the limelight. So it appears the federal government is, would I say, scrambling? Where do we get the money to fund this budget of trillions?
Trillions.
You understand?
How many trillion this time? 13 trillion now.
So selling of assets, isn't it a source of income? Why should people be worried about selling assets to fund the budget?
How many sales are we going to make to be able to make up the number of the huge sum of the budget figure? President Olusegun Obasanjo came in here with privatization stuff and sold almost all the assets that Nigeria had. So even if we have some left, of course, certainly the way to which the assets were sold out looks like the government themselves had a hand in it. They turned back and bought them. So what is left? It is a risk statement. That statement is very dangerous in terms of exposing the threat Nigeria is sitting on a time bomb when it comes to financing its budget. That is, in clear terms, there's no money anywhere. And that is why they even kept to talk about it in March, sometime in March. Yeah, because the assets, what else are you going to say? Is it the jets?
Probably.
All the refineries you are going to privatize, sell? What other assets are you going to sell? Well, if it is a housing, all the houses are bought.
Well, when people that are criticizing this move about sales, it's not as if government sales is up, it goes up into limbo. It's still going to be there to service Nigerians. It's still going to be paying tax. It's going to be coming back to Nigeria. That asset that they are selling, for instance, if it's a refinery, it's going to employ people. It's going to be making sales, and it will be paying tax back to the government. So, and we know that the government has not really been the very, very best in managing of national assets. We have so many assets gone moribund because of government. I mean, everybody's staying is nobody's staying. So if they sell it out or privatize it and be able to get some money to fund the budget, it's going to be an additional income again to the government. Don't you think so?
What are you saying about sales, outright sales? Ownership transferred to that particular individual or to that group?
It's still going to be Nigerian.
It's still going to be Nigerian, but it's not going to be 100%. Ajakuta is lying waste. You want to carry Ajakuta and sell?
Yeah, if it's going to make it come back to life.
The taxes, how much are you going to get from the single-digit taxes? How much are you going to make from if you were the one no, come on. No. It's absolutely an insanity if you want to say taxes are going to level up the sum. It's never going to be. What I know is, if the refineries are handled by Nigerians, the same job employments are going to be there. It's not when you have handed it over by way of sales that you think you're going to have more employments. It's the same employment, except that government is very